You guys, what is going on? My name is Strobus, and welcome back to another video on my channel. And today we're going to be doing a tips and tricks video for medieval houses. I'm going to be showing you 5 easy, simple tips that will help you build a great medieval house for your, survival, creative, whatever need you need it for. A nice, simple, good-looking house. Those are the modern houses over there that we've built before. And I'm kind of going to try and do everything in the same world. But anyway, we're going to get straight on to the tips that we will be using for today's episode. So the first tip is going to be palette. Now, as you can see, I have a very, very simple palette right here. And what I usually do when I set up my palettes is I have the main blocks I'm going to use in the front, like the actual block versions. And then, stairs and slabs in the back if they come with it. And then fences and, walls if they have that. So you have pretty much every block, so you can just go along and pick all the blocks that you will eventually need for your building. I'm definitely not building with that. But yeah, that's pretty much the good sense of a palette. Like I said, this is a very simple palette. What some people do on a palette like this, they add brick. So let me grab some brick. Brick works well with this palette. You could honestly replace it with the stone brick as well if you didn't want the stone brick in it, because that works very well with it. Another thing is hardened clay, and not the colored kind, just the normal hardened clay works very well with the brick itself, as you can see. And also another hardened clay that does work very well is the light gray. This works just very well with the wood tones, and it works as like an exterior block. But like I said, we're not going to be doing anything too crazy with the palettes. We're going to get rid of those two things, and we're mainly just going to be working on this very simple palette for today's video. Now, next up, as you can probably guess by this thing over here, is foundation. Foundation is key when building a medieval house. And the way that I usually like to do my foundations is with oak wood. I don't like spruce or anything like that. Spruce I feel like is a little too dark. Obviously birch is kind of weird. All the other woods are kind of weird. Oak is a really nice color for it. And what I do is I always build my houses uneven. So by that I mean on odd numbers. So there's usually either a 3 space in the middle or there's a 5 space in the middle when I do it. Or you can combine both, which is what this example is. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 2 5 spaces on the side of this house, and then I have four 3 spaces on this house. And actually what you can do, and that's another thing that's great about these designs, or this foundation technique with the 3s and the 5s, is that you can have 4 and 2 and it adds up to a perfect square. So say I wanted just the 3s, you could go 1, 2, 3, place one there, 1, 2, 3, place one there, and it's the same exact thing, it's just a square. So you can kind of play around with these to get the shapes that you want for your build and kind of just mess around. I'm not going to be building something that crazy for this. I'm going to set up a foundation of my own so I can show you what I'm talking about, and then we're going to be moving on to the next step. Alrighty, so here's a very simple foundation. I'm not going to be doing anything crazy in this video. And the next thing that we're going to be doing for the tip is repetition. So we're going to be building the main part with oak wood because that is a very simple block to use. And we're kind of just going to fill everything in and just repeat the same design on everything. So we're just going to kind of put the oak across, just like so. And I'm not gonna do those sides right now. I got this side you need to see right here, and I actually need to raise this up one. I usually like mine on 4. It's a personal preference, really. You could have a 3, 4, 5, whatever you want. And you can have a window there, and it's repetition. You're literally just building whatever you have here on the next one. So obviously on the 5 it's not gonna be exactly the same, and you can either do something like that or you can do something like that. And for the sake of this video, I'm gonna do something like that. So I'm gonna finish that all up on the sides, and I'll come back to you with the next tip that we're going to use. So the next tip is a fairly obvious one, and that is going to be detailing. Now, for the sake of this video, we don't have a set door, so we'll put the door right there for this. And pretty much what you want to do is you want to detail the walls as much as you can with really any type of design. So I think with this one, we'll use some cobblestone stairs and some spruce wood for the detailing. And we'll do a little something like this. I'm going to work on it for the window first, just so I don't screw it up. And you can also use grass. Something that I like to do sometimes is I'll grab a trapdoor and have like a little window thing like that, and hold plants there or whatever. I think for this video we're just gonna do something a little bit simple, and yeah, you know what, that works. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna copy that design on all of these, and I will get back to you. So I'm realizing I didn't show you what the 5 one would look like. For this, I'm just gonna you want to do pretty much the same thing. So we're gonna place our same little design that we have, and I just kind of want to add onto it since it's a little bit bigger. So we could extend this down like that, and then I had a little cobblestone thing like that for the stairs, and that becomes a nice little design that you can have. And I already did it on this side, so you won't have to see that. And really the only thing that this side needs is the glass and the door. And obviously for medieval houses, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're going to use a spruce door. It's very, very good for medieval houses because it's literally what medieval doors look like. And we're just going to place all the glass in, and then we will get on to the next step, which is actually going to be right now. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is stories. Now, as you can see, I've put cobblestone little things on the top of these oak logs, and that is not for decoration, that's for the next stories. But what we want to do first is you want to have kind of an oak lining now when you go to your second floor. And the reason that I feel like stories is a good tip is because I never really like seeing medieval houses that are small. Like, yeah, it's possible and everything, but I really just don't like the idea of it. And this is a, you know, like, look at the size of this house. It's not really anything crazy. Even with a roof, it wouldn't be anything great. But when you add the second story, that's when it really starts to pop. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise this up by about 4 on all of these. I mean, this isn't a block for block tutorial. I'm just showing you how to use the tips that I showed you. And this goes back to repetition. You're pretty much doing the same thing throughout. And you're going to place the oak wood on top of this. 3. And it's really just the same design throughout. Like, I know I'm repeating myself, but it really is. There's nothing else crazy. And you can also put detailing here if you don't like that, because I honestly do not like how that looks at all. So we're going to put a little bit of detailing here. We can go back to our palette, grab some cobblestone slab, and have a little bit of detailing onto the oak. And actually, since we have this palette, I might as well do it in stone brick, because we haven't used that yet. And we might see how that looks. No, I'm not taking that. I think we'll just stick with this for right now. And yeah, so now we have a little wood trim. We can do something like that, or we could even do something like that, which I think I like a lot better. So we'll do that on this. And like I said, I'm going to copy that all the way around. And as you can see right now, these are on 3 and not 4. And I will show you why. If you were doing a floor inside, let's say our floor was oak wood, even though it would never be that. That would actually, no, I can't even force myself to do that. Say our floor was spruce wood. Now we could put in the floor at this level, and you have your window right there. And since the roof comes in, the roof is going to be very, very high. So there's really no need for the window to be another block high. I mean, you could, but personally, I don't think that's a thing that I would personally do. So yeah, anyway, kind of rambling a little bit because it's late, like I said, but we're gonna get this thing done, and hope you guys are learning a little bit about how to build medieval houses so far. So we'll copy this design on all of them, put all our detailing in, and I'll get right back to you with the final tip. Alrighty, so pretty much everything is done. I'm going to show you one change that I did. On the side ones, I decided to bring the windows all the way down instead of bringing the dirt up, because I really didn't like how that looked. And when the oak wood was there, I just felt it looked kind of plain. So I thought, you know what, why not? We'll bring the window down. I kind of like the accent that the wood log gives, and you know, it works out pretty well. So everything else is pretty much the same, and this brings us to our final tip, which should be pretty obvious at this point, and that is roofing. Now, roofing is very, very important when it comes to medieval houses, and it's important to have a trim. So I think in this one our trim is going to be, I think we'll do cobblestone for our trim, and I think we will do spruce wood because we've been using it for the roof thing on there. So I'm going to grab the normal blocks for both of these as well, and I don't think I'll need the slab ones just yet, but I think, actually no, I'll grab them for right now, and then we'll use them when needed. So pretty much for roofs, you want to always have a 1 block out thing. So our cobblestone is going to be our thing, or our, whatchamacallit, our trim. That's the word. Sorry. Anyway, so it's going to be our trim. So what I'm going to do for this house is I'm going to do kind of a simple-ish roof. I think I'm just going to do, yeah, for the sake of this video, we're just going to do a nice little 1x1 thing. So we're going to do 1x1 all the way to the top, and when we get there, we're going to have a little thing just like that, and then come back down like so. Obviously, it's very annoying to do in survival, but I mean, I've done it so many times in survival, you just get used to it after a while. And that is going to be that. Now, when we get here, we're going to do a little cool something. But right now for the trim, I think we can leave it like that. And let's just check the shape out here. Yeah, that shape will work. It's not going to be anything crazy, obviously, as you can tell, but you know, it'll work for the purpose. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to kind of get the shape of the roof. We're going to get this shape as well. And what I mean by the shape is, I mean, we're going to get the shape of the curve on the roof. And this is something that is very, very overlooked, I feel, in builds. And that is curving roofs. And I feel like a curved roof looks really, really good in Minecraft, especially on medieval builds. So we're just going to finish these stairs up, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because if you've never done a curved roof before, it can be quite challenging, but it also can be quite rewarding in the end, because it does end up looking amazing. So pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to start with, we'll go one here and one here. And we'll go underneath on these ones. This can get quite annoying too if you're in survival. And I think we'll go 3 out and 3 out, and then we'll connect in the middle. So just connect like that. So that wasn't that annoying in survival actually, but it just adds a little bit of shape that it would miss. And it's very, very important, especially when you're not doing any type of crazy roof where it's like something like this. So yeah, when it gets like that, then it kind of gets insane. And also when you're going, like, you start going out with the roof, which again, I'm not going to tackle in this video. I'll probably do an advanced video eventually on how to do roofs and stuff, because roofs are very, very important in my opinion. But anyway, so we're going to add the trim on this part as well. I was kind of debating it, but I think we are. And when we get to here, I think we're just going to add a nice little kind of rim thing going up, just so we have a little bit more shape on the house. And then this will come back down. We'll connect this down to here, and this will shape there, so it's even on each side. And if you've never done this before, don't worry, you can copy what I'm doing on mine. And it, like I said, it just adds a little bit more shape. So now you just fill in the rest with spruce wood, and I'll show you pretty much how to do that on the curved parts and up there. So you kind of just want to follow the shape. So you just put that there, and then on this one, you come down, and you're like, oh crap, there's a space there. You just cover it up like that. No big deal at all. And then same thing here. I really like working from the smaller roofs because then it kind of goes in on itself. It's a little bit easier than trying to do this and then trying to match this. It's much easier to match the smaller, or match the higher roof than the smaller roof. So we can keep extending this across. And then here actually is when we cut it, because we don't want it to interfere with this. So just like that should be good. I mean, you can put a little thing up there. I don't think I'm gonna do that for this. It wouldn't hurt the build, obviously. It's just a different technique. And just like that, we kind of have our little roof design going. So I'm going to finish filling this in. I think you guys have got the gist of what to do. And I think on this, actually, we're going to face the stair like that and do that, maybe? Yeah, I think we're going to do that. I think that looks better. So we'll put that, and boom, there we go. So I'm going to finish up doing the roof. I hope you guys are following along. Remember, you can pause the video, rewind, go back, whatever you need to do to make sure that you guys have the house. And right now, you're just filling in, you know, the extra little pieces that you need. And I don't know why that's doing that, but it's kind of annoying. No lighting glitches, whatever. So, yeah, we could just fill in those little parts right there. And there we go. I guess I could put, what could I put there? Could I put a fence there? Would that fix the lighting there? Oh, it won't even let me put a fence there. Is this not a real block there? Oh, it's not! Okay, well, that's why there's a lighting glitch. It's gonna be, yeah, I was gonna say, it's gonna be caused by that. But there's nothing I really want to do with that. I'm fine with the lighting glitch for now. It's not a big deal to me. I could do that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That looks nice. So, anyway, I'm going to finish off the roof now, and I'll get back to you with the finished product. Actually, I realized I didn't show you how to curve the roof, so we're going to do that now. It's pretty much the same concept. You just want to follow what you're doing, and then when you get to a point like that, you're just going to go underneath, and you literally follow the roof, and you'll be completely fine. So we'll have the stair there, and follow the roof, and then we'll have the stairs here, and stair, 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 stair. I think on this, just for the sake of continuity, we'll do that. I think that looks a little bit better. And that's pretty much the roof design done. Obviously, I didn't do this side at all. But if you're looking at it from this way, it looks like a completed house. I will do the whole thing, and I'll show you how to, you know, bring this all the way up. There's nothing too crazy here. Like I said, this was a very simple roof, so there's not a lot of crazy block placing. It's all pretty simple. And that needs to just go like that. And we'll place a little spruce wood right there so you can't see the mess that's underneath there, and then just follow the cobblestone stairs the same way you did it up there. You see they're on the same level here, so they're going to be on the same level underneath. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So like I said, I'm going to finish this off and show you the final product now that I showed you how to do everything with this house. And I think I'll even interior decorate it so you can see what that would look like on a house this size. Alright, this house is completely finished and decorated, so we're just going to do a fly around of the roof again. And there's one thing that I don't think I explained too well. Now, I said that on all of these, and even on here, that the spruce lines up with the cobblestone. However, on here, it doesn't. And that's because this is supposed to be raised to show the curvature a little bit better, so you can see the detail of the roof a little better. If it was all spruce on the same level, if this was raised down, you wouldn't really be able to see that as well. So that's why that is a thing. That's really the only exception, is the top of the roof. You want your cobblestone to stand out a little bit. And even you could do it on this part too. I could put like a thing there and a thing there, which I think actually looks a lot better now that I just did it. So you can do that. And as you can see, I played around with the windows a little bit on here. You can see the foundation stuff inside, which we'll go inside in a second. But I played around with this design a little bit. Once I realized how high the roof was going, I was able to play around with the windows on that design. And then on here, I added the extra fences. I took out some windows on here because of the staircases inside. And I actually thought I finished placing all the trapdoors as a little extra detail, but apparently I did not. Anyway, that is the house. And I forgot this little part up here too. Nope, that's not the right block. That is. But it's not in the right space. Oh, can I get it? There we go. Okay, so now it's completely done. And you know, this is a little house. Like, this wasn't anything that took too long and creative. It took me about 15 minutes total, even if I wasn't recording to do the... it took me like 20 minutes recording. It would probably take me about 15 minutes if I wasn't recording to do the interior and everything. And, you know, just build it. And, you know, it's nothing crazy. It's a small house, but it does have a nice little detail to it. So, yeah, so let's go inside. And, you know, spruce interior, you have furnaces, you got your staircase, crafting table. And this is why I said don't be afraid to take out windows. Like, what would the window be showing? It'd be showing nothing. This was the only one that I was like, yeah, that can stay. Because you can still kind of see out of it a little bit. And even if you back up, you can still see a little bit out of it. So I was like, okay, that's an exception. And then you come up here, you got some bookshelves, you got your bed, crafting table, and a couple chests with a foundation. And I didn't really go over foundations. I feel like I'll go into more detail on interior, staircases, once I have a big medieval house to play with. I think I want to build a couple of just giant houses just to do a couple interior builds on, because interiors are very, very important in building, and I think I could show that a lot better when I wasn't building, you know, the house on the fly. If I had a giant, like, 25 by 25 medieval house that we could decorate, that would be pretty dope. So I'm thinking of doing that. Like I said, if you guys have any suggestions or any things that you want me to do, tips and tricks, build challenges, anything like that, definitely let me know with a comment down below. Hope you guys did enjoy this video, and hope you did learn something from it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Peace.